The first thing I saw when I dropped into the cave was the glint of her eyes. Not human. Too wide. Too bright. They shimmered like violet fire against the darkness, and they were locked on me. I landed hard, my boots skidding against slick rock. The drop hadn't been planned. I'd been chasing a signal, one I shouldn't have. On Vasker 3, the old ruins were off limits for a reason. But I was a scavenger, and breaking rules was how I survived. Only this time I didn't find scrap. I found her. Chains bound her wrists to stone pillars carved with alien runes, ancient and crumbling. Her skin, a pale blue laced with faint gold patterns, shimmered even in the low light of my helmet. She wore ceremonial garb, torn, faded, and stained with dust, but her posture was regal, upright despite exhaustion. A crown of bone and crystal had fallen to one side of her head, tangled in her long dark hair. What the hell? She didn't flinch, just stared. Then she spoke, her voice raspy but melodic. Are you real, or another illusion sent to torment me? Real, I said, raising my hand slowly. Name's Cole. Human. Scavenger. I picked up a distress signal. Thought it might be tech worth salvaging. Her shoulders sagged. Then fate has finally heard me. I stepped closer, trying not to slip on the ancient stone. The chains that bound her shimmered faintly with residual energy, plasma forged but old. Not just chains. Prison. Who are you? I asked. Her gaze didn't leave mine. I am Sarexa Veldachkari, last daughter of the Moon Throne, exiled and betrayed. And if you do not free me soon, this place will become both our tomb. The way she said it left no room for doubt. I knelt beside one of the pillars, scanning the mechanisms. The bindings were integrated into the stone, thousands of years old but still active. It was like some kind of ancient stasis lock, tied to her life force. This is pre-common era tech, I muttered. Where did you even come from? Sarexa let out a breath, slow and measured. My people were once warriors, rulers of light across the inner galaxies. But pride made us targets. I was sacrificed to protect a secret. One so great even I was never told what it was. They locked me here. To die slowly. Forgotten. How long? 612 years. Froze. How are you still alive? She tilted her head. I do not know. Perhaps the prison wished to savor my suffering. The console was inert. Had no key, no override. But there was a backup line. An emergency release node embedded in her manacle. I'd need to splice it, bypass the pulse lock, and hope the chain didn't fry us both. I can try to free you, I said, pulling tools from my belt. But if I screw this up, you won't, she said simply. How can you be so sure? Because no one else has ever come. And I choose to believe that fate would not send me salvation only to snatch it away again. I didn't believe in fate, but I believed in second chances. The chain sparked as I sliced into the conduit. Plasma hissed around my gloves, but I stayed focused, working fast. One slip and her life would be gone. Sarexa watched me in silence. She didn't flinch once. Even when the energy surged and I nearly lost the line. Why'd they do this to you? I asked, wiping sweat from my brow. I was the Moonthrone's heir, but I rejected the Prophet's path. I refused to offer my blood in the ritual of sacrifice. My sister took the throne. I was accused of treason. Sounds like a lovely family. Her lips curved into a faint smile. Yours is better. Touché. With a final twist of the modulator, the chain glowed red, then, click, dropped from her wrist with a heavy clang. She gasped, falling forward, but I caught her before she hit the floor. The other wrist came next. Easier this time. When she was free, she stood shakily, rubbing at her raw skin. "Thank you, coal of earth," she said. "You have no idea what you've done. Just being decent." No, her eyes glinted. "You've involved yourself in something far older and more dangerous than you know." That's when the temple shuddered. The cave ceiling cracked above us. Dust fell like rain. Somewhere deep in the ruins, a low moan echoed, metal grinding, stone shifting. "What was that?" asked. "The warden," Syrexa whispered. "It knows I'm free." A panel behind her throne-like pedestal hissed open, revealing a corridor that hadn't been visible before. Inside, rows of glowing glyphs lit up the path. "We have to move," she said, gripping my hand. "Now." We ran. Through winding halls lit by ancient light. The air grew colder with every step, and beneath our boots, the ground trembled as if something massive stirred in its sleep. "Explain," I demanded as we ran. "What the hell is a warden?" "It was created to watch over this prison. A machine born of dread and loyalty, neither alive nor dead, fueled by the remains of those who once rebelled. If it wakes fully, we will not escape." We burst into a chamber shaped like a star, lined with towering statues of beings that looked suspiciously like Syrexa. At the center was a massive gate, silver, cracked, humming with restrained energy. "That's our exit." "Yes." "No," she pointed to the wall beside it. "That's the control chamber. We must activate the ancient code. Only then will the gate open." I looked at the panels, hundreds of alien symbols, none of which I could read. "You'd better do the honors." She stepped forward and placed her hand on a central stone. "Pulse." "Moon throne blood recognized," a voice said. It echoed through the chamber, ancient and cold. Suddenly behind us the wall exploded. Out of the dust emerged the warden. It was massive, 9 feet tall, clad in jagged black armor that pulsed with green veins of energy. Its face was a mask of steel, expressionless, and its limbs shifted like liquid metal, reshaping into blades, whips, and cannons in seconds. "Target: Syrexa Veltkari. Escape attempt detected." It raised its arm. I dove, tackling Syrexa as a beam of plasma sliced through where she just stood. "Work faster," shouted. She rolled and scrambled to the panel, typing symbols frantically. "Buy me time." I pulled my sidearm. It looked pitiful compared to the warden. Fired anyway. The bolt hit its shoulder and bounced. It barely even turned its head. Then it rushed me. I ducked and ran, zigzagging through the chamber, luring it away from Syrexa. It was fast, too fast for something that big. But it was also predictable. Didn't think. Hunted. I led it in circles, diving behind pillars, forcing it to waste shots and time. But I couldn't keep it up forever. A blade caught my leg. Just a nick, but enough to slow me. I hit the ground hard, gasping. The warden loomed. Then Syrexa screamed. "Now!" The gate behind her roared to life, white light spilling through like a rising sun. She raised her hands and sang. Just sang. The sound was like glass and thunder, weaving through the air. The warden staggered. Sparks burst from its chest. I raised my gun again, aimed for the spot she'd weakened, and fired. The bolt struck home. The warden spasmed, then collapsed in a heap of melting metal. I limped to Syrexa's side. "What the hell was that?" "An old song," she whispered, breathless. "The one they taught us in secret. It unbinds the bonds of machines. Remind me never to get on your bad side." She smiled faintly, then grabbed my arm. "We must go. That was only the first of many guardians. The moon throne will sense my release." We stepped through the gate together,